And there we go. Let's just let that loop for a second. Get it in the head. This is probably just going to be one where we layer it. I want a second section over top of it. Or at least at some point. So this is probably going to go for like... I don't think I want to push something like this for longer than like 2 minutes. I feel like 2 minutes is probably a safe bet. We can always add more later. But let's just loop this. What I should probably do is combine these all into one. But I can see a world where you chop this up. You do some sort of like round type stuff. Yeah, I can see playing this as a round. Alright. Alright. Second, I guess first day with a new account, they're going to send you a lot. They're going to send you a lot of the guys who are trying to sell you some nonsense. Why is this guy... My guy, if you're going to try and run scams, don't have a 12-year-old. I don't care if you're the 12-year-old. Don't have a 12-year-old as your profile picture. That's not how you sell something. It is not my first day on Twitch, but if it was, I could get fooled, I bet. Not like that. Alright. So let's start layering. Let's copy these and send it out for, I'm going to say 2 minutes. I think we can handle... I guess this is a little bit longer than the sections I usually run with. Because usually I'd let this run like 3 or 4 times, but that's too long to just let run naturally 2 or 3 times. You probably want it to start degrading on... I need to mess with the microphone. That's a little bit too intense, I think, especially as I lean closer in. Yeah, second time around you can start letting it degrade, at least add something in. But let's see what it sounds like fully chorded out. Alright, because that was standard. Let's put the... There we go. Oh yeah. Definitely getting too loud. Oh yeah, there we go. That's getting chunky. It's so tempting to let it run 2 full times. What does that take us to? That takes us to almost a minute, 53 seconds, just like as it lies. Which I don't hate, but it's a bit much, because usually I'm like 53 seconds is half the song. Alright, stream seems like it's not imploding on itself, considering I have not really updated anything on this computer in what? Years? Multiple years? I've seen worse. This really was just test to the concept, and it seems like it can handle running Reaper in this at the same time. That's not too bad. Alright. The real answer is trying to find a second layer, so let's solo this out. Let's not have everything solo. What you want to do. Did I curse it? I may have cursed it. if it wants to work. I hope it wants to work. Let's see if it wants to work. Maybe? Maybe. That was fun. I think we're back. Everything's just how we left it. Fun. Good times. Good times. It's playing again. I don't know what that was. I got no answers. Alright. We were seeing what we wanted to add here. Let's mute this real quick. Alright, so we've slowed it down a little bit. We've got it layered. I'd love to add one more just underlying element to it. You could make the argument that you just want the intro acoustic guitar. Rest of the song is a little samey is the issue. Let's lower that volume just a skosh. I don't think we want more lyrics. That is the one downside here. Is you're kind of like fishing, right? Could use something like that at an octave, which would be pretty interesting. Fill out that low register. And then you just have to line it up. So, let's see what we got. Let's... Yeah, so we want where that scoop is, right? So just gonna kick off right there, I think. We just have to make sure we get the loop right. Oop, did not need to do that. Just this one. Just this one. Yeah, and then we can shoot this probably at a... Well, we gotta be careful, right? Because we don't have any standard tuning ones. We probably want to do this. We're gonna have to test this. I don't think I can theory craft this. I think we're just gonna have to see how it sounds. And we're cracked. Man, this might be a problem. This might be a problem, because once you get too many pieces going at the same time, it decides. There we go. Alright. So it'd start right here. Let's chop it there. That's still gonna need a little trim, just a little trim. Copy that, send it right on back here, and draw it out. Let's take that off and just solo these two. This needs to be way quieter. Other than being completely out of tune, this might not be what I thought it was gonna be. No, we don't need that. That was a silly idea from the start. Never mind. Alright, let's just see what we can do with this. Let's just see what keeping the little guitar strums from the beginning sounds like. Obviously we're going to have to adjust them so that they sit correctly, right? But that could be interesting. Just a total guess, but I think this looks about right. Oh, I might want to pitch shift, but that actually isn't terrible. Oh, it's just like the timing's a little off. Oh, it's a little funky, but I don't hate it. It's off kilter. Alright, so we need to chop this. I can just honestly toss the rest of this. I don't think we're doing... Whoopsies. I don't think we're doing anything else up here. And then we just have to time stretch it, right? So that it all lines up. Alright. How does this all look on the screen? Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Alright, so this is honestly a fine start. You just have to see how far it goes before it starts getting a little bit slowed down, because you can tell they were not playing to a timer. Yeah, alright. So we'd really just want to get rid of this last section, right? Is it going to be as simple as just drag that out? It looks like it could be. Looks like it has the potential to be. Let's see how that sounds. No, that slows it down way too much. There's got to be a happy middle ground here. Maybe it's just a matter of doing this, chopping it down, and then we just have to figure out where the stretch goes. That just doesn't seem too off kilter. Because I'd love to have this tonality about it, but I don't know what we can get away with there. Alright, so that at least ends in the right spot, right? At least ballpark? Yeah. Let's see how rough it gets throughout. Nope. That ain't it. That's way too slow. Alright, so we want to... Don't want this tail end, because that tail end just does not fully fit. Let's see if something like this is a little bit better. We also could just be barking up the wrong tree again. And I think that's where we're really at, is that this just is not right. It's not going to do what we need it to do. Yeah. No, I think less is more on this. I think we're really hitting the less is more point, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you don't need it. And more than anything, I'm just excited that the computer's not exploding. Seems pretty decent. Seems alright. There we go. Alright. Alright, let's see what we want. Now that we're confident in just doing this. Also, let me actually put our song info in. There we go. Oop. There we go. Center that up. There we go. Alright, this is almost looking like we know what we're doing. Almost. Alright. Alright, so it's going to play one time just as it lies, right? Obviously, once all is said and done, we're going to have to meet these. We're going to have to make crossovers happen between all the sections, but that's not too bad. That's once you get there. So what do we want the second to look like? Is there any, what element do we want to really, like... If we're not slow... I think this is too long to slowly introduce tonal layers, so it's just going to be a matter of chopping once we get here. Feels a little bit too early on to really just hit the, like, repeated first note before you get to the vocals. That feels like probably, like, 3 or 4 repeats in. How many... if we do 2 minutes... Well, I think this could push out to 2:30 without too much heat, right? You get 2:40. If we do cut it off at 2 minutes, it's not going to cut cleanly. We would cut at 2:13. And with that, we get 5 loops. That's not a lot of loops. I much prefer working with shorter segments. I feel like there's a lot more. You either do, like, one segment that builds, or you do much, like, 10 seconds or less segment. So getting 5. At that point, I'd want to do 6, which puts us at 2:40. Let's start with 6 and see where we go from there. We might... 5's such an awkward number to do, but honestly, it might be the move still. Especially with 1 as it lies. Alright. I'm not going to bounce these down, because I do see a section where we could, like... Oh, just for... I don't think this is actually going to stay, but let's just for giggles try taking the lowest one, chop it in half, and swap them, right? That's a very standard play. I'm sure we can line that up better. But honestly, it's not too bad. I don't think it's what we need this early on, and I also don't know if it's not anything we need at all. No, that's not it. That's not the move. I'm definitely chopping at least one of these off, because we're going to end up pushing it out. I might honestly even chop 2. This doesn't need to be the longest thing on Earth. I would much rather keep things under 2 minutes and put, like, 10 songs on an EP, or 15 even, rather than let one drag out for no reason. The sections aren't even equal length, because I would normally try and do like a full round, 1 per tone, but probably not here. I see why people in the early days of this really just did fall on their laurels, just like, find the thing and just let it loop for a while, and that'll be fine. I think that's gonna be our first chop. Where is that actually? Because I don't want that to be the chop to be like right at where it's. Because like, if you're following it, you would chop right here. That's probably the mark you want to hit, right? So we chop it right here again. And let's make sure that that's how it needs to go before we do any big copying. Oh, it's like a hair slower than I want it to be. Where do we take that hair from? So we can take that much off of there. And I don't know. Still too slow. Let's take a little bit off the other side as well. So that's coming. You always want to try and match your waveforms. So you got one going up from the baseline there. So we want two. Oh, this actually works out flawlessly. We can just shave that off right there. And if I were to guess, I think that's going to flow very well. You can make the argument that you want to take off even one more cycle. And I would probably make that. I mean, this song kind of drags more than I'm used to. Now, I'm still leaving, like, just a hair too much space. So let's shorten these up first and foremost, because I don't think we need all that lay-in. And that should about do it. It's still kind of dragging. I am surprised by that. Let's try this and see if that changes it. Might be too drastic. Nope. That's feeling good. I like that. Alright, so let's push these on out. Let's start with 4 and go from there. There we go. There it is. What's happening, Zane? Welcome to it. Just wondering how long it would take not a bot to find us. Alright. Again, my deranged instincts are always to drag it out to its extreme. And I mean, we did chop it down quite a ways. I really don't want this pushing past like 230, I want to say. But like the instinct to put like a 7 cut in here is very strong. Let's see how it sounds and then get everything back in. That might be too much for what is inherently not a overly interesting cut, but oh, there it is. Yeah, 7's too many. 7's too many. That needs to be a 3 cut even, maybe? I think even 5. Let's cut it down to 5 and then just trim from there. Alright. That's a 3 cut. Anything more than 3, and that's not interesting enough of a cut to loop that far. It's too long. But I do like the cut. There we go. Yeah, 3 cut followed by a 2 cut of... Now the question is, how do we want to do that cut? Because you could make them equal length, but I feel like there's something interesting to be done with, like, really awkward cuts here. Like, just really uncomfortable cuts. Oh, Zane, I appreciate the follow. First one on the new music account. Fun. Alright. Let's just test some stuff out. I really don't know what this is going to look like, but we'll find out. Because, like, that's going to be the end. That's going to be the lead back in, is obviously that full section before the lyrics come back in. But, like, my terrible instinct is to just do, like, 3 separate awkward cuts here. Like, let's just do it. Let's test it out, and let's save here first and foremost, in case we really do mess this up beyond repair. Because I like where we're at thus far. Let's chop right here. And do just 2 of those to start. Nope, that's not it. That's not it at all. Oh no. Alright, so let's just undo all of that. Alright, so we need a little bit more on that. Let's... That might be an awkward cut. Let's see how that repeats. Nope. This is like a hair too long now. Let's split the difference there. Does it just not need the second cut? I feel like the second cut's kind of a shoo-in. Let's just have it glitch. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall at this point. I don't know what the actual strat is here. We'll find it. Probably inadvertently. We'll find it by accident at some point. Let's just try copying this. I also don't need 2 more unedited pieces hanging out for the time being. That's just adding extra stuff that we have to slide. Let's just copy these 4 times. And see how that sounds. Ugly. It sounds ugly, but I might like ugly. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. That might be a good transition in. Let's grow that last one out. Alright, so the last one we're gonna slide that back over, and... This gotta be tough to just listen to. Once we get to the end, it's gonna sound good, but it's gotta just be tough to hear as it goes. Alright, let's... Alright, so from here we can do 2 normal cuts, right? That's where the... You can include even just maybe a hair of the first syllable. Chop it there, do 2 of those. Oop. Alright, we got looping taken off. Let's see how that works. Yeah, then that can come right back in. Those are not the cleanest cuts of all time. Just do a little early overlap here. Not the best form of my life, but... There we go. Oh, kind of awkward. Alright, these are ugly for no reason. Let's get rid of the ugly for no reason. Sometimes that can add in a fun element. I don't think this is one of those times. Alright. Alright. So these cuts are feeling good. Drags it out just enough. I like this cut. I don't know if I like those back-to-back in that same way. No, I think we need to do we need to go backwards a little bit here. Unfortunately. Whoop. Oh, that might be part of the problem is we're leaving junk. Oh, that's... Where did that come from? That is... How? How did we do this? Those are actually nothing. I think that's about right. Alright, we might need to just corroborate that ending there. That looks just about right. Alright, so these are good cuts here. First cycle through, we really don't need to do anything too extreme. Like, that should be fourth, maybe fifth if we want to push our luck, is when we can start getting into the real degenerate cuts. Alright. Like, I so badly just want to, like, stick awkward split cuts here, but that's got to be later on. That can loop a few times and be fun. Alright, so let's start something here and see where we want it to go. I feel like it's going to be too short. Actually, we might even be able to shorten that up even more. And bring it around that way. Yeah, a few of those will be good. Yeah, let's do 3 counts on those. Alright, let's see what we got so far. kind of want that one note to just go on way, just awkwardly long. Oh, I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but let's try it. Alright, let's... Obviously this is at 100% speed right now. Let's slow it down. Let's just see what something like that'll do to it. Subtle. If you get those blended in, that could actually be decent. But I also think that could be even more extreme. That's going to be ridiculous, but... I don't hate that as much as I probably should. I don't hate that as much as I probably should. Ooh. I think that actually works really well. It's just enough to keep it off kilter. And especially as you're having these threefolds play out, end in a threefold into something just slow and then back. With the little lyrics. Ooh, I like that. That's going to stay for now. I reserve the right to swap that out, but I kind of like it. Like, third and fourth, we're going to have to absolutely start chopping on the vocals. I don't think this can get degenerate enough without chopping on the vocals. Let's end loop 2 with just something on this tail. Alright, so there's going to be 2 separate chops here. Because we want to get probably like a measure of 5 looped. Where are we starting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Yep. Alright, so we're going to do a measure of 5. That was a fun sound. Alright, so that is going to be the beginning of our measure of 5, and that's the extra beat. We're actually going to keep the extra beat out front. 4, 5. Alright, is that actually going to loop properly? I don't know. 5. I think that's actually... I want to add the extra beat in early. This desperately does want to be 4, unfortunately, which is just so much less fun. 2. Yeah, it wants to get moved to here, which I'm going to have to begrudgingly do. Can I steal 1 extra beat? Is that going to actually be functional? Oh god, no. Alright, that's destined to be boring. Yeah. Do a 2 count on just that. Third one then can get slightly more chopped, maybe? Third one can be broken down into just like individual elements. This could be where we get our first truly degenerate chop. Not yet. Nope, I think it's too early. It really starts going downhill as soon as you put one of those in there. Actually, wait a second. Split one of these in half. And, oh, just for good. Let's start getting slightly degenerate here. Let's... Whoop. Don't need an envelope here. Did not need that. Just this one beat twice over, 3 times over even, might not be excessive. Nope, nope, nope. Let's see what this has for us. No, too early. I really gotta stop. I gotta stop with the degenerate cuts. That's for so much later. Alright, end the second loop before we take a little break here. I did not need to do that twice, but we just need to chop this first beat out and... Alright, it's a little awkward on the cut. Still just a little awkward. There we go. Nope, that's not. From here we can trim those down, then we get the correct ending on it, right? I think this will work just fine. There we go. One too many, but it is the right concept, and then we can just go right back to the beginning. And that will set us up well for tomorrow. Fun little experiment day. Like how it's all gone. See you later.